Okay.
Welcome, everyone, to the Demo Center event of the year, the presentation called Meet Aira. I'm Karen Gorgie. I'm the director of the Computer Center for Visually Impaired People at Baruch College, and we want to welcome you here for this event. We're very excited. I want to mention to everyone again that we are live streaming. That means we're being videoed. So if you do not wish to be videoed, could you do us a favor right now and raise your hand? Okay, I think we've got that. We thank you very much. It's exciting to me to say this because we're being videoed, virtue of CCVIP's YouTube channel. And we know that we have people watching in India, in China, cool. In probably New Jersey. So it is such a fabulous idea, the way technology can just help us all expand our reach in so many different ways. And that's what's going to happen. That's what we're going to be finding out more about today. So I do first want to make sure that we thank so many people who have helped with that. We are thrilled that Baruch College Computing and Technology Center and their media services folks are helping us with this live stream. Stella, are you here? Stella Varvaris? Yes, Stella.
All right, Stella.
We would love it if you would say hello very loud so people in the room know where you are.
Hi there.
See, she's good at that. And we certainly do want to thank the communications people here at the college who have helped us get the word out about all of this. And of course, we want to thank Aira. And I'll be introducing Paul Schrader very soon. But let's give Aira a hand in in case they're watching out there in California or wherever. So we're thrilled that this is happening here with us today. And now I do also want to thank our volunteers. We have Svetlana, we have Aura, and we have Lynn, who happens to be standing right here, so I can read, holding the mic. She's has expertise in so many ways. And certainly the CCVIP staff, Vern Vergara, who coordinates all of this. We can give Vern a great hand. And Lisa Saunders, who helps make sure that we have folks with us to support. Yes. And you may not have been introduced quite so well to him before, but Mr. Mohammed Rihan, who is our videographer today, welcome to you, Mr. Mohammed, and thank you so much.
Technical director.
And then you'll be meeting later, and you've met them before, our two premier senior instructors, Ms. Lynn Tatum and Mr. Rick Fox. Let's give these guys up. Wonderful. So, by the way, has everyone muted your phone?
Ooh.
Or silenced your phone?
I don't know.
Or turned on do not disturb? My phone was hassling me today, so my phone isn't even in this room. I didn't even want to chance it. So we really don't want those sorts of interruptions, so you get about 8 seconds to do that. That's close enough, right? That's close enough. Okay, Ms. Vern, director of all things, have I left anything out? I think she said no. She said no in an inaccessible manner, but that's perfectly all right. It's perfectly okay. So, friends, it's my pleasure to introduce to you a gentleman who has been in the field of work for people who are blind and visually impaired for a whole lot of years. I guess, I don't know, he can tell you if he wants how many. For a very long time, he was a vice president at the American Foundation for the Blind, and now he has decided to become a profit maker. He works for this for-profit entity right now, which is IRA. So Paul Schrader is IRA's Director of Public Policy and Strategic Alliances, and we certainly hope that we are a strategic ally. And we're really thrilled to have you here, Paul. So friends, please welcome Paul Schrader.
Karen, thank you so much, and I want to thank the team here at Baruch for making this possible. Vern's been terrific to work with, and I'm thrilled that Lynn and Rick are here with me. This is a great treat for me, as I don't usually get to present with IRA explorers alongside of me. So let me first of all ask, besides Lynn and Rick, are there any others in the room who have signed up and are using the IRA technology? Applaud if you will. Okay, well then we've got a whole room full of people who are ready to sign up. And actually that's one of the things we'll make sure we do as we get closer to the end time is I'll if you talk to me, I'll give you a number you can call and we can take care of that and get you signed up, and I'll talk to you about what we're prepared to offer. I think we've got a pretty cool offer for you. So let's talk about IRA. First of all, it's AIRA, but pronounced IRA. It's something in the tech field. What they try to do is come up with obscure names that are hard to say and pronounce, and then expect you to remember them. So IRA is the name of the company, the name of the service, AIRA, and we'll talk about what that stands for. But just to suffice now to say the AI is artificial intelligence. IRA brings together great tech and human intelligence into a tool that helps us experience more. You name it, if it's got visual information involved, IRA can help you do it. For the pragmatic, IRA helps answer that question of where is it? For the explorer, IRA helps answer that, hey, what's over there? For the curious, IRA helps answer that question, what does it look like? And for the doers in the group, IRA helps answer that question, how do I ... There are so many things that you can do, and I know that for all of us, and I am totally blind myself, and I have lived most of my life without vision. The period during which I had vision, I was a tiny little baby and didn't know what to do with it anyway, so it wasn't very useful to me. I've, like many of you who have either grown up or spent a fair amount of time as a visually impaired person, probably you've worked pretty hard to minimize your need for vision, right? Because you don't have it. So, you know, try to find other technologies, other tools, other means, other methods of doing things that don't require so much vision. And so what's been cool to me about working with IRA and getting a chance to work with this company and help develop this technology is helping people who are blind or visually impaired figure out how to put the tool of access to vision back into our lives. And what's great about it, as you'll see when you get a chance to experience IRA both with me and as well with Rick and Lynn, is besides it giving you the chance to access sighted assistance, what's great about IRA is these are trained sighted assistants. These are trained agents who know how to work with people who are blind or visually impaired. And so it avoids all those uncomfortable situations of asking someone, can you tell me the address? No, I'm not from here. Can you tell me where is, it's over there. One of my personal favorites is people who say go straight. What they actually mean is turn left and go straight, but they didn't, you know, they left out that part of the deed. Apparently they were pointing and then said go straight. So you start out straight and they say, no, to your left. And so all of these fun things that we have, right, when we sort of ask for sighted assistance, get sighted assistance, IRA is here to help bridge that gap and bring this tool back into our lives in a way that really is effective. So what is it? How is it developed? Where is it going? Let's talk about some of that. And most important, how do I get it? So IRA is immediate access to visual information, right? Whether it's signage, print, objects, paths of travel, facial recognition, facial expressions. Both of those things are really kind of cool, actually. And I've, you know, on occasion now, I've been able to have IRA with me as I've been talking to some people, and they've told me when I was really boring people. So that was good to know. It was helpful to have, you know, but they did it in a non-judgmental way because they're good, smart agents, and they were able to tell me, you know, not judgmentally. It's kind of like having video description for your life, right? And it's people who know how to do that. So what is it? The concept behind Aira is simple and profound at the same time. It takes advantage of video camera technology. And so, as you know, if you're a smartphone user, you've got a still camera and a video camera right in your hand in that phone. But there are also these glasses that are being developed and used for lots of different reasons that have video cameras in them as well. Google developed a Google Glass a while ago that got some attention and had video camera, and the idea was that people would use that video camera to learn about where they were, to stream video back to friends or whatever, and it got some criticism for people who were using it incorrectly, or maybe in a way that wasn't as socially acceptable. But the idea was, so we've got these video cameras on glasses, we've got them on smartphones, so can we employ that video camera? This was the thought of our founder, Suman Kanyuganti. Can we employ that video camera to direct the video via the cell phone network, via the internet, to a sighted person who could be thousands of miles away, who could then have an instantaneous connection, see through the video camera, and in a sense, look from our visual standpoint. And it's why Aira uses smart glass technology. So, and you'll get a chance to get your hands on those if you haven't had a chance to see them. And they're basically a couple of different kinds, but for the most part, we use a type of glass that looks like an eyeglass. It's got two frames that go back over your ears. It's got two lenses, nose piece that sits on your nose. The key difference is, of course, that there's a video camera in the side of this glass that looks straight ahead of you. And that's where the cool tech happens. So from that video camera, you from your vantage point, wearing this video camera, you're looking out on the world, and a sighted person can see through that camera, and from anywhere in the country, from Maine to San Diego, from Florida up to Montana, and yes, we have agents in all those places, we can connect you with an agent who can then see in front of that camera and give you that access to all the visual information I just talked about, whether it's signage, print, expressions, the people around you, and what's the scenery look like where you are. Now, the Aira agents are key to our success. The technology is great. It's very cool. The idea of being able to send video thousands of miles, to be able to do it virtually instantaneously so that you don't have a lot of what they call latency. It would be terrible, right, if you had to wait 5 seconds for that video to get connected and somebody to come back to you and say, yeah, you're about to walk into a wall. And you probably would have already done that by then. And so you really need a very good connection. You need a very instant kind of connection. I had somebody ask me once, did I think that Aira could help him box? And I said, no, I doubt it would be quite fast enough to help you boxing. I think, you know, between you and the agent, there would be just enough delay in that reflex but maybe it would help you train with a punching bag. I don't know if you ever tried it. But it's very, very instantaneous connection. Virtually, it's as if the person is right next to you. So the technology is great, but the key to our success is really the agents. And our agents are, first of all, they are highly screened. We sometimes say that we are more selective than Harvard. I don't know, it's 1 in 100 or 1 in 1,000. I think it's 1 in 1,000 get through or something. I mean, it's really a very low number of agents that we accept who get through the first screens that we set up. We want people who are very good with customer service. We want people who are good with technology, and we'll talk about that in a second, why they have to be. It's probably obvious, but just in case. And we want people who are comfortable with the idea of giving information, directions, and assistance to somebody in this kind of remote setting, right? So they're not with you directly, but they're with you in virtual remote connectivity. They're also highly trained. We spend a bit of time. And we're still, you know, as a relatively new company, we still work on making this most efficient. But we do a fair amount of training for our agents to help them understand the way blind people need information, to distinguish things like using a clock face properly, if that's what somebody wants for directions, or giving very accurate turn and directional information, as well as how to read and provide information in a quick and efficient way. It doesn't always come naturally, as we know, and as I was joking about at the beginning with people who sort of do the over there thing. It isn't obvious to everybody how to provide good information and useful information in a way that somebody who's blind or visually impaired can get at it and use it. So that's something we spend time on with IRA agents, of course. We help them maintain those skills. So we're always looking for helpful improvement. And both Lynn and Rick know that when you end an IRA session, you're asked for feedback. And it's a very simple little, was it good or bad? Basically, was it good or not good, the session? And what kinds of comments would you care to offer? And those are very helpful because that's how we help our agents maintain and build their skill levels. And lastly, they're paid. And that's really important for lots of reasons. One is it helps us maintain, we think, highly professional agents. We think this work is work that should be paid. It's good, valuable, important work. And we also hold our agents to a confidentiality standard. And so I know a lot of people who started using IRA a year ago when we really launched for consumer use. It was right in the midst of heading into tax season, and a lot of people actually used IRA to help them get their tax stuff together, tax material, go through all those reams of paper to get ready to either do your own or to help bring to somebody who was going to help you with your taxes. And so people, fortunately, trusted that we meant it when we said their confidentiality is a high bar requirement for IRA, and it's something we of course do background checks and other things to make sure that we're hiring people who are worthy of putting out in this assistance mode. Now, besides the video feed, the agents do get some other important information that can be helpful. So, for example, they get your GPS location. And if you're out moving about in the world, that can be very valuable to have because sometimes you just want to know, hey, what's around? For me, for example, I'm not familiar with this neighborhood. So let's say, because I'm not from here, let's say I went out after the session and said, you know, I want to find something to eat. There's a lot of ways, of course, I could do that as a blind person, but one of the other ways I could do that is have an IRA agent look at GPS and then look at Yelp and Street View and other things to help find information about places around. And it's highly convenient, and of course, also all that's done hands-free, so I'm not messing around with my phone, my cane, or my dog and trying to get all that in order. Sometimes IRA agents also are able to grab maps. A lot of times that's really helpful in, let's say, an airport because GPS is only moderately helpful there and there's not really a street view. So it's helpful to try to get an airport map where they can help you find gates, help you find amenities within the airport. And a lot of times that's done just by looking around at visual signage, but sometimes it's also helpful to have a map. And so one of the things our agents are able to do is pull up a map. What kinds of things are people doing with IRA? We'll show you in a little bit. Lynn and Rick will really give you some great examples of that. But really, as I said, you name it. We've got plenty of people who, of course, started using IRA the way I think the company assumed people would, and that's for navigation. I think there was a real sense when IRA first launched that this was going to be something blind people really liked for being out and about in the world for navigation, both for helping to detect obstacles, for those of us who are cane users, for example, those head-high branches and signage and other things that interfere with our path, to wanting to know what is over there, or how do I find the right door for the store, or how do I find the address I'm looking for, and all those things that we sometimes struggle with now, can't always find someone to provide assistance, or as I said, can't always find someone to provide quality assistance. I think the assumption was that was what people were going to use IRA for the most, and initially people did. But as we've developed the service and as more users started signing up, people realized they could do a bunch of other stuff. So got a lot of people doing home tasks, and we'll probably show a few of those. But imagine all that food in the house, and you want to know about expiration dates, and maybe you're like me. I'm a lazy labeler. I hate labeling stuff. I just don't, you know, besides my CDs, yeah, I still have CDs. So besides those, I didn't much label anything in my house, and it's much to the consternation of the rest of my family, because it means up until IRA, I've been asking them, what's this? What's this? I find that sighted family members get tired of that really quickly. And so IRA's been a great benefit for someone like me who isn't much of a labeler. And certainly even if I were, I probably wouldn't be smart enough to put expiration dates on stuff, so I wouldn't remember that. And I might, you know, you find that can that's been in the cupboard longer than you realized. It's really helpful to have. But imagine all of these stoves and ovens that we have now. A lot of them are touch screen. A lot of the microwaves are touch screen. Sometimes you can find an accessible one, but not. It's getting harder and harder. A lot of people are using IRA to help do that and get around that barrier, or to help them. They maybe, you know, maybe we've developed some solutions in part, but they're only for the things that we do all the time and not for the things that we need to, you know, setting power level, for example, on the microwave. And so it's helpful to pull up your IRA agent. They can look at the screen and give you directions. Thermostat. One of the first things I do when I check into a hotel is bring up my IRA agent, find the thermostat, change it, and then separate all the shampoos and conditioners out and stuff like that. Are there other ways I could do that? Sure. But this happens to be one that's really fast and efficient. I mentioned travel, of course. One of the most popular places for IRA is the airport. And people love bringing up their IRA to be able to avoid the hassles of waiting for the airline personnel who sometimes don't show up, or who often we can't really communicate with, and really aren't there necessarily to help us find the Starbucks and wait in line and then go to the gate. That's not their job, and so it's an uncomfortable thing where, you know, look, we want to actually take advantage of the airport amenities like everybody else, and IRA is a great tool for doing that. Workplace. We're starting to see people bringing IRA into the workplace, and I think that's a great area, one that's worth a lot of discussion. But again, a lot of visual information crops up in the workplace, whether it's office machines that aren't accessible. Yes, they should be, but they're often not. Or whether it's all those bits of paper that still find their way around. Meetings where somebody's writing on a flip chart. Maybe they narrate what they're doing, maybe they don't. But IRA, of course, gives you the advantage of being able to get that information as you need it. Same for the education area. Lots of places where access to visual information is simply a challenge for those of us who are blind or visually impaired. And IRA can help handle that. Couple things that in terms of the what's coming. So what's already here, besides all of that I just talked about, but wait, there's more. Uber and Lyft. So Uber is integrated now, and Lyft will be very soon. I think it's really just waiting for everybody to agree on the announcement time. So you can, if you're an IRA user, have your agent order Uber, which is fun to say. Everyone, order Uber. You can have your agent order Uber, and I always say to people, that's great. To me, I don't struggle with the ordering of Uber. I don't have a problem with that. But I can see where if you've got a cane in one hand and you're carrying coffee in the other hand, it's really nice to be able to not have to put stuff down and have the agent do it for you. But where it really becomes helpful is finding the car. Yeah, exactly right. In the busy airport or out here in the streets in New York, where there are tons of cars, trying to figure out which one is yours is such a challenge. And I think one where IRA really restores people's patience in a lot of important ways, because it can be very frustrating. Also letting you know where that car is, so you know not just how many minutes away it might be, but what street, so you can kind of get a feel for where it's going to be pulling up and how to get ready. So Uber and Lyft. Photos. Photos is something we launched originally with IRA, particularly for the agent to get a better look at something. Let's say they wanted to get a picture of a sign that's far away or overhead, and they can't zoom you into it. So what they can do is take a photo through the glasses, and then through the video camera, and then use their computer to look at that image with better contrast or with magnification. That proved so popular among our users, though, that a lot of us said, hey, we want photos. And as I always say to people, we want to be able to take photos of food at restaurants and bore people on Instagram and Facebook just like everybody else does. Right? So blind people want to be just as pedestrian as the rest of the world with our photos of things that nobody cares about and ones that people do care about. And so that's something that IRA has now adopted. So you can have your agent take a photo of something that you're experiencing and share that, and you can then have that sent to you so you can share with your family and friends. The last thing I want to do before I call up an agent is just mention that, as I noted, the company is AIRA. The website is AIRA.io. So that's the second thing that's kind of funny about the company, right? Why.io? Because it's a tech company. Why not? It was an available suffix. Those things are called suffixes. The .io was available. Tech industry kind of loves the I/O concept, the input-output. And so .io is great. So AIRA.io. So that's how you'll find more information about IRA. Of course, that you didn't, hopefully we'll answer every question you have today. And the AI, as I said, is for artificial intelligence. And so one of the things that, besides what we've already done, we hope to be bringing more human-assisted, or sometimes machine learning, or whatever word you want to use, intelligence into IRA, so that we can broaden how many people are served, so that we can allow our human agents to focus on the most difficult things and have others, the artificial intelligence, if you will, provide some of the information, like providing access to static, let's say it's reading print or reading a sign. That's probably something that an artificial agent could do pretty well. And something that we could set up. So that's something we'll be moving toward as we continue to develop the service. And the part of the reason for that, of course, and the main reason for that really is to expand the numbers of people that we can serve. There will come a point at which we simply don't have enough agents, and there can't be enough agents to serve the number of users who want the information that IRA makes available. And that's where we'll need to have an artificial intelligence agent be able to help out and expand and take on some of those duties that are a little more straightforward. Now, I'm going to try to multitask and look at my phone and call IRA at the same time, which, we'll see if I actually can. Now, IRA is a couple things you need to know. We do use the video camera in the phone, but the preference is to use the video camera in the eyeglass or the smart glass. And mostly that's because it gives the agent, especially if you're moving around, it gives the agent the viewpoint as if you could see, or the viewpoint of seeing from your perspective, right, from your height. It's also nice, keeps your hands free. And as we develop more technology to support IRA, we'll certainly be improving that video camera in the glass to the point where it's probably, will give you a superior experience to the video camera on the phone. So there's a couple of things involved here. IRA is a smartphone app. It's a pretty simple, straightforward one. Yes, it works well with voiceover and talkback. Everything is labeled, thank goodness. And for the most part, it's really two buttons you need to worry about, either call from glass or call from phone. And all of those are available from the Home tab, which is on the left bottom corner of the screen. And then everything else is pretty much straightforward. So I'm going to turn on my glasses. They play a fun little musical tune you'll get to hear. It's very soothing. And we'll bring that up. Where is my... There it is.
I don't get that.
Now, that's probably so faint that a lot of you didn't hear that nice, soothing musical tune. So I'm putting on these very cool shades, these glasses, which will tell me a little bit about their battery status. I've got good battery at 96%. I've got myself connected to a Wi-Fi device. So right now, and for the near future, IRA takes advantage of a special hotspot or Wi-Fi or MiFi device, depending on what you want to call it. It's about the size of a cell phone. It's a little device that all the telephone manufacturers provide. What it's targeted for is for people who want to have browsing or email access. It gives you access to the network for doing internet functions. We use it for essentially the same thing, but it connects your glasses to the network, and it provides a nice stable connection. The other thing that it provides, because of our relationship with AT&T, is a prioritized network. And so if we run into trouble, this is great because it means that IRA's video is is on a prioritized network for AT&T, and it means that we are able to get our video through even where you have relatively low bars or a very congested signal, like a sports stadium, for example. Now I'm gonna. So I've selected
home tab 1 of 5.
Oh, let's see here. Hold on a second.
Headings. Characters, words, speaking, punctuation, language, speaking rate. 65. 60.
We'll close that. We'll slow that voice down a little bit.
55. Call arrow. From glass. Glass connect. Phone. Button. Selected. Glass. Button.
So
one
glass
of 2.
is one of 2.
Phone.
Phone
button.
is the second
2 of
choice.
2.
I'm going to call from
call arrow.
glass.
From glass. Button.
This is where the nerves really kick in. Is it going to work? Will it connect?
Thank you for calling Ira. This is Jessica. How can I help you?
Whoa! Hey, Jessica, how are you?
Hey. Doing well.
There we go. Now we've got some better audio. So oddly enough, Jessica was one of the first agents I ever connected with IRA. Maybe the first. Oh dear.
Just kidding.
That's awesome. I'm gonna let Jessica calm her dog down just for a minute here. Anyway, so when I was first trying IRA, actually, I think it was at a health technology show, and it was immediately obvious to me what I loved about IRA was that I was able to walk around this trade show with tons of booths, and have an agent tell me from a distance what booths I was walking by, so I didn't have to go up and engage in conversation with a booth that I was completely uninterested in. And then you're kind of stuck in that moment of, I really don't care about you, but I don't want to be totally rude and just walk away. So it was nice to be able to make that choice. It was also good to be able to have an agent tell me whether they were understanding me in the booth. Because, when you start talking about accessibility for people with disabilities at a mainstream tech fair, they often don't know what you're talking about. And so it was good to know that I was getting blank stares. So, Jessica, are we all settled?
Yes.
All right. So tell me a little bit about this room.
Yep, so I see it's a pretty full room that you're in, and I can tell from my map that you are in New York at the, how do you say that, Baruch College?
Baruch.
Okay, and I see there's a woman directly in front of you with a gray vest on. She's front and center. There's a cameraman to your right, and along the back of the wall there are monitors set up. And I think there's about 4 rows of seats. Like I said, it's pretty full. There's a microphone to your left. So I think there are people on either side of you at a table. And there's one woman standing on the far right of the room.
Excellent.
It looks like everybody's paying attention to you, so that's good.
That's not
smiles now.
But that's not always the case. Jessica has pointed out. One of the other it's fun when you get to know the agents just a little bit, because I happen to know that Jessica she's a good Buckeye. She's a good Ohio lady. And I was at a meeting where she said, Paul, I should tell you there are some Michigan sweatshirts in the room. So that was problematic.
I don't see any affiliations in this room, so we're clear.
No, we're good. We're good. New York doesn't have any football teams in college, as far as I know. So
Careful.
I always know how to antagonize an audience. That's one of my skills. So let me stop here and see if there are some questions for me, or more important, perhaps for Jessica, who is one of our most experienced agents. And let's see.
Wait a minute.
I should ask, how do you guys want to do this?
Well, this is how we want to do it. Sir up there in the front row. What we're going to do is ask you, I was going to ask the first question, but since this gentleman jumped, I'm going to let him do it. But the rule is you have to raise your hand. A volunteer will bring the mic to you. Please say your name and make your question concise. Don't tell us your life story because we don't have time, okay? And we want to answer, I'm not mean to be mean, but we want to answer as many questions as possible, okay? So we are sending out the mic now. And
thank you. And I'm coming to you, sir. Just a second. Okay.
And then we'll go to Karen for the second question.
Yes.
Yeah, my name is Ed Delgado. As you know, many blind people are on a fixed income. Can we talk about the finance of this?
Yeah, I think your Ed, if anyone didn't hear it, was asking about the finance, and the pricing of IRA is it's based as a subscription model, right? So individuals pay per month for a set of minutes, kind of like a cell phone plan, or at least an old cell phone plan. One of the advantages to our plan is that you are able to enter or exit fairly easily. We don't hold people to annual contracts or 2-year contracts or things of that sort. So it does allow you a fair amount of flexibility in terms of the type of plan that you want to have. The base plan, which gets you 100 minutes a month, is $89 for the month, $89 per month. So basically about $3 a day. And that buys you that bucket 100 minutes. The next plan up from that, if you go up from that, you get slightly better minute pricing if you follow me. So, for example, $129 a month, so another $40 a month would get you double the minutes, so 100 more minutes, so 200 minutes a month. And if you got to $199 a month, $199 a month, you would get 400 minutes, so that becomes 50 cents a minute. We are looking to find other ways of providing IRA. So, for example, right now we do have a special for those who are inclined to be able to either put down more themselves annually, or maybe people who want to support IRA for a friend or family member. We do offer a package now of an annual fee or a multi-year fee that gets you unlimited service. I believe it starts at $2,500 to give you unlimited numbers of minutes for that year, for example. And so that, we're certainly always looking for ways to put IRA into more people's hands. One of my jobs in Washington is to try to develop some policies that will support IRA and make it more widely available. We're working hard to get vocational rehabilitation to approve and to find other ways, the Veterans Administration, to provide IRA. So, we know any expense can be a challenge for individuals who are on a very tight income, for sure, and we want to make sure that this tool is available. We also, of course, as I mentioned earlier, need to pay, and think it's very important to pay our agents, which is why IRA does have a fee structure to it in order to support the service. Let's go to Karen, I guess, wanted to.
And I happen to have the mic in my hand. You answered one question that I wanted to ask, so let me throw out another one. Have you received any feedback? I've heard this said, I don't necessarily subscribe, but I've heard it said that some people feel that you can become like too dependent on IRA and that your skills, your quote-unquote blindness skills will become less sharp. Have you heard, because you can get, those guys will do everything for you. Has that been something you've heard, or anything that you think is useful to address?
I'm going to ask in a second Lynette or Rick if they want to respond to that. But I think I hear this concern for sure. Does it erode blind skills that people learn? I actually think it likely does the opposite. I think it likely encourages people to be more bold and independent in terms of moving around in the world, tackling new things, trying new things, partly because you know that there is a way to get some assistance with a piece of that, the visual piece, that can be a challenge, whether it's the navigation or the instructions for trying something new, or the screens or interface to a piece of technology that's new. So I actually think it encourages, I hope, in any case, that it encourages people who are blind to try new things and to try the skills that they have, knowing that they can fill in the one piece that they didn't have, which is the easy and efficient access to the visual component. You know, in the end, you still got to do the thing, right? You've got to be operating your cane or your dog independently and efficiently. We're not going to do that for you, and we specifically do not provide certain kinds of information, like when it's safe to cross the street, because that's really up to the person to have to make that independent skill. I don't know, Lynn or Rick. Jessica, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to jump in. So as an analyst, I do a lot of the agent training. And one thing that we really like to tell our agents is to think like a set of eyes, not a brain. So that's kind of where that comes into play, I think, as well. You know, we're not reducing individual skills. You still make the decisions, and, you know, really you can absolutely rely on your mobility skills, whether it's a cane or a dog. But, yeah, it's more that easy access to the information. So I think Paul's right that it kind of just helps people in a whole different way that they may not have anticipated.
I'd like to jump in.
Oh, Rick, you beat me to it. All right.
That's unusual.
I know. It sure is.
Oh, I'm glad you reminded me. So I wanted to give you an example. I come from a New Jersey urban area, but it's nobody, you know, in New Jersey nobody walks. They have cars. Mm-hmm. So there was a mailbox in the middle of the block that I needed, and I don't go to it that often. So there's no doubt that I can use a cane to find it. It would just take me, 7 minutes longer to find it. It was because it's a long block. So what Ira did was save me 7 minutes. It didn't mean I was not using my skills, but if I had used my skills, it would have taken me 7 minutes. Yeah. So to find it, and so that's one answer. It does help with some of the real nuisance factor where you're gonna it's gonna take you more time. Well, in this case, it took me less time because when I was within 40 or 50 feet or 40 or 50 yards of the mailbox, I turned on Ira, and we just started walking. Yeah. And then the person said, the mailbox is to your right. And by gosh, I put my hand out, and the mailbox was to my right. There you go. So it just took that much less wear and tear on my day. That's what it did.
Yeah. That.
And I want to jump in and say, we can get to the Fine Fare grocery store. Mike, hello, Mike, okay. You're welcome. We can get to the Fine Fare grocery store, but when we get there, then we have to wait for someone who can get off the register and help. And okay, now. So now, oh my gosh, I think it was just yesterday, we went in, I whipped out Ira. I generally use the phone just because it's, right near me. And we have a system. The person says, okay, Maria, put your hand up. It's higher, it's to the left, it's this way, it's that way. You say, got it. You just can't beat it. Coming out of the subway station, OMG, I'm completely lost. And I'm looking around and saying, oh my gosh, I don't recognize this housing development. And excuse me, could you, and everybody's passing by as if we don't exist, Whip out the Aira. Can you get us uptown? Well, just turn around. Walked us up to 106th Street. I said, my glasses that I have on my face help me see the chase. I said, we got it. It is life-changing, folks. When someone says, yes, the $89, it's a subscription. I think, but my God, yesterday in the laundry, they helped us with the laundry. It's a touch panel. Well, believe me, the laundry barely did it, but so I really think it was a really wise investment on my part, I have to say. And Paul didn't have me say any of that. He didn't ask me to, but I truly believe
I just met her today.
It's really wonderful.
Excellent. Let's see if we can.
Are there
get
other
through some
questions? Okay, ma'am, I'm coming to you. Excuse me, what you like?
She doesn't have
Aha.
the mic yet, hon.
Jessica
Yes, my
says
name
there's
is
two in the middle.
Lucia. Hello, my name is Lucia, and I want to know what devices are we dealing with? You have the phone, that's the iPhone, right? And the glasses, headphones, speaker, anything else?
Yeah. So Aira uses a smartphone app, as we said, and it could be iPhone or Android. There is the pair of glasses, and there is the device that the glasses are connected with called the MiFi. They're connected wirelessly to it. So it's those, and then whatever device you would normally use to make a phone call or to listen to your phone. Obviously, I'm using a speaker for this purpose, but normally I would have a headset. Could be AfterShokz, or it could be an earbud or something like that. It depends on what you tend to want to use as an individual. It also depends on what you're doing. If you're at home, you may be perfectly happy using a speaker. If you're outside moving around, you're probably not, and you're probably going to want something that allows your ears to stay also focused on what's going on in the environment. I will say that we are working toward a device that has a more one-touch access to it, so it'll be a glass and device combo for those who would prefer that as we move forward. And Aira will turn 3 in January, and really the first 2 years was all of the work around getting the technology right, figuring out what we needed to do, and getting the training right to make sure that we had agents in place who could provide help. So really it's been the last year that frankly we've been learning as a company what people want and how people want to use the technology. I think we're learning a lot. And we'll continue to work with our user groups to say, what do you want the technology to do that it doesn't do currently? Particularly as we start doing the artificial intelligence work, that will be even more important.
Paul, I just want to add that the glasses, have the shortest battery life, so I'm very careful when I'm not using them to close them. But the MiFi has a pretty long battery life, so if I know I'm going to be using the Aira, more than one time within 2 or 3 hours, I just keep the MiFi on, and that's one less thing. Once it's on, I just carry it around with me, and it's small. It can fit in a breast pocket or a sport jacket pocket. It's so pretty small.
Yeah.
We have another question here, please.
Okay. I'm Michael Levy. I'm here with kind of representing New York City Transit, Accessori. Let's say you have a person who became blind at the age of 65 or 70, and they think the world has ended. What is the learning curve for such a person with this device?
That is a really good question. We do have a broad age range of people who are currently using Aira, and I don't know, Jessica, if you heard the question about age range, particularly for people who are older. What's the learning? The question was a learning curve for somebody who's older, and you may have some experience with this, but I think I will say this: probably the biggest challenge is getting comfortable with an iPhone or an Android phone. Past that, once you're connected to Aira, it's talking to a human being who's providing kind of a natural level of assistance based on what you're asking them for. And so that part of the technology becomes pretty simple. But for a lot of people, the hurdle of learning to use an iPhone, just the idea of hitting those buttons and double taps and sweeps and glides and triple taps and all that stuff, that is, it's not easy, and it's not obvious for people, especially if you've not used it before. I don't know, Jess, do you have any thoughts on older people?
Do I have thoughts on older people?
They're lovely.
So broad question, but no, I would say, what you said is pretty accurate as far as we do have a wide range of users, and I cannot remember that exact number offhand, but I would say most of our users are, at least over 50, over 60. So that's not uncommon at all, and I do think it's just a matter of getting used to the phone. And also one thing that's nice, I know that it can be pretty daunting to have all the different devices. But when you first call in, you'll get an agent who will actually walk you through that whole process. So they're really good at answering questions you might have about how it all works together and what you're going to need, anytime you need to call in. And we do have a really nice customer support team as well. And actually, some of those team members are blind or visually impaired themselves, so they can actually answer questions a lot better than I can sometimes, as far as, walking you through how to use your phone, for instance.
Excellent.
But no, I don't think it's, any issue.
Thanks.
We have another question over here, and then I'm going to circle around.
My question is, oh, I'm sorry. My name is Marion Shepard, and my question is, how would IRA work with a person that's wearing a hearing aid? Would it work together?
I think so. The question is about hearing aids, and I know we have a number of IRA users who do wear hearing aids, and again, it really it matters whether or not you're able to use a cell phone. If your hearing aids and your hearing is such that you can use a cell phone and hear a cell phone accurately and adequately, IRA will work fine. I know for some people that, of course, isn't an option, but for most people, they have either through direct connectivity on the hearing aid or through other means. I know a lot of folks do like the bone conduction headphones because it can bypass some of the issues that relate to hearing loss, because those headphones are directing right into the cheekbone and heading into the inner ear in that case. So I can't say definitively because it depends on your situation, but I know there are many users who do use IRA with hearing aids and do so quite successfully.
Thank you. We have another question right here, please.
Okay. My name is Daniel, and I'd like to ask, will IRA work on tablet devices such as iPads or Samsung tablets like the Galaxy, or even the most recent Braille tablet devices that are now available, like the Braille Note Touch that runs Android?
Well, I don't know. I certainly don't. I mean,
or some sort of
yeah. I mean, I think first of all, you have to have a connection to the cell network,
yeah.
Whatever you're using, and so that's a starting point. I don't know. I mean, certainly with the sort of the phablets, right? The phone tablet combinations. No reason why IRA wouldn't work with those. I'm not an Android expert, so I don't know the answer to everything around Android, but I do know IRA works with Android. Actually, I know we'll be looking at Android devices for some of our one-touch approaches. But I can't honestly answer the tablet, and I certainly don't want to answer the new Braille Note or other question because I'm not positive. I don't know. I don't know if Rick or Lynn does. But.
I would think it would have to have a camera of some kind. I mean, how unless you're using it just with the glasses.
Yeah, assuming you could use that with the glasses,
thing, really.
Right?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. We have another question right here.
Hi.
Say your name.
Okay. Hi, I'm Maria, and I'm wondering, Lynette and I have been walking around using IRA for a while now, but I don't have a problem walking around. I have some vision, so I don't have a problem walking around outside and maybe into some stores. But I was wondering, when you go, I have a big problem when I go from outside into like a dark theater or a place that's really dark. Would IRA be able to steer us to the box office
Basically,
or to our seats and whatever?
You know, it's I want to take the piece of that question that I think you were asking in part, which is how well does an IRA agent see when you walk into a darkened space like that? And Jessica?
I'm trying to think of examples. I know that we have definitely had people who called in during outdoor nighttime activities. So I know that's different than inside and dark, but it would be pretty comparable. And, it may take just a second to adjust, just like anyone. But overall, we do have pretty good, it's a normal vision. And I haven't had any problem with like a theater, for instance, or even just dimly lit rooms. If somebody calls in and we absolutely need more light, we'll let them know. But otherwise, no, that's not really an issue. And we've definitely helped a lot of people outside at night with no problem.
Okay, thank you. I'll be right there, sir.
We are running that microphone around.
Wow, we are. Wow, yeah.
My name is Anthony Morel. One of my questions was just answered. The second question I have is there a cost for the glasses that's necessary to be used?
I am so glad you asked that question because I should have covered it. No, whatever plan you purchase or subscribe to, I should say, the glasses, the MiFi, that's all included, comes to you and yours to use as long as you're subscribed. You know, we would ask you to send it back if you decide you're done with IRA for some reason. But nope, they're covered as part of it. The only thing that you will need to provide for yourself is the smartphone, and you'll need to download the app on it.
Yeah.
We have another question here. Sir, just a second. Here's the microphone.
Yeah, my name is Ed Delgado. I'm sorry for a second question, but I'm curious. My sister's blind. She doesn't speak English. She speaks Spanish. She's in Puerto Rico. Would that work for Spanish-speaking people?
We do not yet have a full Spanish service, but we do have a lot of Spanish-speaking agents. I suspect that it's a matter of time before we feel like we can cover. Currently, by the way, no one's asked this question. I should have said it. IRA is available currently 18 hours a day. It soon will be 24. Oh. I say that, but I've been saying soon for a while, so I'm not sure. It's currently available from 7 a.m. to 1 a.m. East Coast time. And I think we're not at a place yet where we can comfortably say we have Spanish agents that could cover, Spanish-speaking agents who could cover that time. But Jess, any input from you?
No, I would say, again, similar answer. I know that, we've been looking into helping people all over the world, and as we do that and as we see a demand, I think we're just kind of waiting for that demand. But we do have a good number of Spanish-speaking agents that, would be perfectly trained for that once it's available, just not yet. Soon as the 24 hours is available as well.
One of the advantages of being a San Diego-based company is a lot of our initial agents were people who were fluent in Spanish and English.
Fabulous.
Thank you. We have one last question right here.
I'm Manny Perez, and my question is because I like doing handiwork at home, or I liked to before I had my vision loss. How much detail can we see? Because one of my problems now is I open something up and it's dark in there and I can't see where the pieces are. I can't even feel them because my fingers are too fat.
Okay.
So, Jesse was asking about doing where he likes to do handiwork at home and work with products and pieces and assembly. And I will tell you one of my favorite stories, one of my favorite IRA stories, is a guy, it turns out he's a friend of mine. He's got a baby, a toddler now, and he wanted to baby-proof the kitchen, and he wanted to do it himself. And so he worked with an IRA agent to get the directions, understand the directions. One of the things the IRA agents will also do, just like sighted people will do, is often go onto YouTube now where you've got better instructions because people have put up their own. But a lot of times that's videos, right? So and they didn't design them for blind people. And they'll say things like, well, if you look on the screen now, you'll see the such and such. And so one of the things that IRA agents can do is help not only the instructions that come with the package, but also help find those extra video instructions that are available. But so he was able to do his own baby proofing, baby proofing of the kitchen, and I think it's been successful as their youngins now a toddler. Jess, any examples that you have from your?
Yeah, so some not as fun examples would be, just reading business cards. That's something Paul will have us do after conferences, for example.
Paul is not fun.
Paul is not the funnest, no. So he'll call in and, if we're not able to instantly read something that has maybe really small text, another thing an agent can do is always take a photo. So like right now, for instance, I have really good visuals in this room, but if I needed to see something closer, I could have Paul hold it in front of the camera and I'd take a photo and then I can zoom in. So that's something, if we want really specific detail, we can always do that. But as far as just navigational. You know, we are able to read signs as you're walking through an airport, or we've had people do things that are more detail-oriented, like one user had us help with origami. So that was an interesting challenge for both of them, you know, to work through that. And then I actually helped someone restringing a guitar, which is not something I know about, but with his information, I was able to do that. It was really cool. So.
Yeah, so
absolutely.
I think the answer, Manny, right? I think the answer is, you know, it's always worth a try. Chances are pretty good that the agent's going to have a sufficient level of sight detail with the video camera, either on the phone potentially or the glass. And there are times when the phone just is easier to use. There's no question about that. For example, actually one thing that Jessica and I did together, I think was a bit of technology, and I actually had to put the phone around behind a router to look at a setting. It was really easy. It was much easier to do it that way than it would have been if I could see it. Probably I would have had to do the same thing, only in some other fashion, try to show what that text was saying, what was on the behind the router. So the point is that they can get the video camera can give a fair amount of detail, enough where probably a lot of the kind of home projects that you might be wanting to do, it could help you with the instructions, help you sort out the materials, help you do, you know, somebody's done IKEA assembly, so if they can do that with Aira, my guess is there aren't too many things that you can't tackle with the help of an agent and with your own skill, of course, taking part.
Thank
I think
you.
we're coming up on transition.
We really are. Now, I'm sorry, I'm taking a point of personal privilege. I just want to know, Jessica, have you ever restrung a guitar before?
She wants to know if you'd restrung a guitar before.
No, absolutely not.
How fabulous. That's great.
I
know, right?
Excellent,
Full disclosure,
excellent,
it was kind of funny
excellent.
because-
Thank you guys very much. This concludes the end of the first part.
But wait, there's more.
That's right. So you will have 15 minutes to go and buy popcorn. No, we do not have that. But we're going to take a 15-minute break, and then we will be coming back to the second half-ish.
Thanks, Jessica.
It's more than half, really. Anyway, we'll be coming back.
And
Roll
we can
'em.
make that available. We can also do a 30-day free trial for anybody here. I'll announce
All
that
right.
later.
Okay, friends, we are ready to rock and roll.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
So we do need quiet.
Good luck to you both.
I get the other glass from you? Did you
We
set it
do
up?
need
Thank you.
quiet. Thank you.
That's a former teacher talking.
Seriously.
Wow.
Class.
Man.
And I do, since I heard something in the intermission, I do need to remind everybody about your phones. Please, your phones, please be sure that they are silencio. Silent, silent, silent. I don't know how to say it in any other language, but you get the idea. So now we're ready for what we're calling our open demo, and it's going to consist of real-time, real-life, it either works or it doesn't, demos from two of our senior instructors here at the Computer Center for Visually Impaired People, and the speech impaired as well. Sorry, who said that? Anyway, I'm very happy to introduce our first presenter, who is our senior instructor, Excelente, Mr. Professor Richard Fox.
All right, Rick.
Thank you. I'm going to. I have Ashley as an agent, and I was able to connect during the intermission. So, Ashley, would you say hello?
Hello.
Okay. Actually, the first thing I would like to do is show you a couple of pieces of mail, and so I'm going to put the. Right now I have an envelope, so I'm going to put them in front of the glasses, and Ashley, you can tell me what it is that she sees.
Perfect. Okay, if you could bring the envelope down just a little bit. I'm looking at the bottom edge of the envelope. And then if you could just pan slightly to the left for me. Okay, perfect. I'm going to take a quick picture here just to get a good glimpse of what's written. There's a lot of fine print on the page. Okay, so on this picture here, it's loaded on my end. It does say, it looks like your thumb's partially covering the line, but for Macular Disease Incorporated, it's from 64th Street, New York, New York.
That's enough. That's good. I know what it is. It's the macular. So I'm going to take it out of the envelope, and there's two pieces here. A thick card, which is probably I have a guess, but here's a letter, and so I'm going to hold it up, and you can tell me what I should do, whether it's the right way of holding it up.
Yeah, so it's currently upside down.
That's what I mean. I just turned it 180 degrees. Okay.
Perfect. Okay, and if you could hold it just a little bit away from you, I'm zoomed in on the lower right-hand corner, and then if you could pan, perfect. So I can read it. It's in big, bold font. It says accessibility resources for people with visual impairments. It goes down to an article or a paragraph. It says, Siri, Apple's intelligent personal assistant, can be an empowering tool to help you maximize functionality in your iPhone and or iPad. Please join us in learning easy tips to benefit from this life-changing technology. And it goes down to give more information underneath in finer print, and then there's also in the column on the right-hand side, it also gives more information. The top half has kind of a brown header to it with some orange triangles in the corner, and then they have a small square photo that's just kind of a glimpse of when you press and hold the Siri button on your iPhone, it asks, what can I help you with today? So, do you want me to keep reading the rest of the page?
Just one more sentence. In that bottom paragraph that you said, there was a paragraph under there.
Oh, yep, it was partially curved, so I couldn't catch it. It says, Speaker Dory Rush. Oh.
Okay, that's good. That's enough for that one. And I think probably, since I only have 15 minutes, I think everybody has an idea of how comprehensive the mail component is. I've gone through, dozens and dozens of pieces of mail within, a half an hour. I'm pretty good at stopping them and saying, that's it, I don't want to hear anymore.
That's me, Rick.
So thank you very much. The next thing I would like to do, Ashley, is my wife has a shirt that she thinks has a spot on it. So I have it with me, and so I'd like you, if you would, to describe the shirt, what color it is, and then maybe we can see if it really does have a spot. I'm going to stand up, and I'll show. She said it was the front, so I'm gonna hold it up like this, out, and you can tell me if it's reasonable for you to see it.
I'm pretty zoomed in on the shirt itself. Would it be helpful to put it on the table and then we can look down at it?
If there's room, yes. Let's see.
Okay, if there's not, that's fine. We're just going to look at the shirt piece by piece then. I can tell that it is the green long sleeve or maybe three-quarter length sleeve shirt. It does look like you're looking at the front of it because I can see in the neck hole that there is a tag on the opposite side. As you're panning around the shirt, I'm not seeing any noticeable spots. If you want to pan to the left, it's kind of folded in some parts, but I'm not seeing anything major. It is a very pretty color. Oh, there might be a spot right in the middle.
And that's what she told me. That's what she told me it was. Right in the middle. You got it.
Go, Ashley.
Thank you very much. I actually have to admit, I told my wife she was probably paranoid and there was no spot. So, now I have a pill bottle, and I'm interested to know what the the brand of the medication is. I need the expiration date, and I don't know if there's any dosage instruction on here as to how many to take every so many hours. But I'll hold it up, and then it's a round thing, so I guess I'll probably have to take a couple of pictures.
Yes, most likely. So I can tell that we're looking at a white pill bottle here. We're looking at the back end of it. So it has the ingredients listed in a kind of scrolling font that goes sideways. So if you could rotate it counterclockwise for me, I believe we're really close to the front label.
And I'll hold it like this.
A little bit further.
Okay.
If you could keep rotating it around, I see a bright orange label here. Okay, perfect. So we're looking at the front label. I can tell right off the bat that it does say Motrin. So I'm going to take a quick picture here, and we're going to try and look for some fine print.
Now, in my glasses, it says, taking picture, uploading picture. So that's what I hear in my right ear.
Okay, so it's taking a minute to load on my end. Taking a few seconds here, actually.
Remember the thing from Jeopardy?
Do, 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 do. Yeah.
That's right.
Okay, we didn't coordinate that all, folks.
So I can tell that it is Motrin IB. It does have 100 capsules in there. Unfortunately, when I took the photo, it focused on your lovely audience in the background.
Whoops. Well,
Now,
I can tell that there is a dosage amount that's there, but we may have to take another picture.
Okay.
Could you lower it towards the table so that it has a clear background behind it?
How's that?
Yeah, if you could pan down to look at the pill bottle.
Okay.
This is usually the problem. Perfect. And if you could just rotate your hand towards away from you just slightly.
This way?
No, rotate your hand itself, not the bottle.
Oh, sorry.
No. Tilt your hand back. Perfect. Just like that.
Okay.
I'm going to try and get a quick picture now. That's the problem we find sometimes with taking pictures. There's a busy background and it wants to focus on that rather than the bottle. So it's just a quick little fix here. Okay. And it wants to focus on your phone. This is kind of a smaller, trickier bit. I'm very sorry about this. I can't tell it is still, it says ibuprofen. I'm going to take another picture, see if it'll autofocus again. If you could rotate it just a hair to the left.
Rotate it.
Rotate the bottle.
This way?
Oh, the other
The
left,
other way.
sorry. There we go, okay. Sorry about this. Just taking another quick picture here. It does, so the font is kind of hard to read just because it is a yellow font and an orange background. So I can read the black labeling that's on it, but it's not showing up quite properly with the yellow. I do apologize about that. I can look up online and see if I can find something that's similar to that, but for right now, with the glasses, it's just not focusing in on that yellow font.
Okay, I have to say that yesterday when I did this for practice, I was at home. Obviously, it was a different environment, probably not as busy, and I got the expiration date and I got the dosage, so I was able to do it at home. Obviously, you know, things are a little bit different in every environment. So I appreciate it. Since we don't have a lot of time, I'm going to go to my next thing. What I'm interested in, Ashley, I'm going to move my phone so I don't knock it off the table. I'm bringing my computer. Now, I'm interested if you can tell me what the screen says on this computer.
Okay, so go on pan just slightly to your left.
Okay.
I can tell that you are on the intro screen to the desktop, so it has 227 on the bottom left, Monday, December 4th. The screensaver itself is a picture of the desert. It looks like it has some cactus-style trees here and there periodically, and in the distance you can see a ridge line of low mountain range. It looks like there's a sunset or a sunrise coming up from the left corner, and you can also see some shrubs here and there dotted across the.
Yeah, that's my background picture.
I believe I see a little slice of a moon.
Why is this such a bad on? That's just the connection. It's just not good at this moment.
Okay. Now, the audio is cutting out.
Yeah.
So, Ashley, is there any way that we can reset the connection somehow?
Yeah, let me try and refresh it real quick.
Okay.
I've got good video, but I'm having still some trouble with audio. Do you mind just calling back in real quick so we can try and reset that?
What would you like me to do?
Call back.
Call.
Call back
Yeah.
in real quick
Yes.
So we can try and reset the connection.
Sure.
Okay, thank you.
We have 2 minutes, so let's see.
Ending ellipsis.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Selected. Call error from glass. Skip feedback button. Skip feedback button.
I'm going to skip the feedback.
Glass button. Selected. Phone button. Glass connected. Call error from glass button. Connecting.
Hi, Rick. This is Ashley.
There you go.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you well, thank you.
Perfect. Okay.
Now, I'm going to so the good thing is that my computer has no speech, which is the time that you would probably want to use it with Aira. When I had JAWS on before I started, and either the machine timed out because it's a new machine and it does things that I don't know. So Ashley, this is really good because I have no idea what's on this screen.
Okay. So it looks like you are on your desktop now. I can see that the background is an ocean with a sailboat on it. If you want to pan to the left, I can tell you what icons are popped up. So nothing is popped up on the screen. I can see that on the left-hand side you have desktop icons for JAWS, Chrome, looks like Adobe, and a few other things that I would need and the recycle bin.
Okay.
I'm not too familiar with.
All right. Well, that's really good. It tells me, so what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to shut the machine down because obviously the speech went away. So I'm going to do the classic Alt F4 and see if we can get the shutdown screen. So did I get the shutdown screen?
Something did pop up on the screen. It is a white box that says Windows. I may have to take a quick picture though because it does have a bright light to it. So to try and define the letters themselves. Okay, taking a quick picture here. And it's uploaded on my end. So let me get rid of your video real quick. It says Windows 10. What would you like to do?
That's it. That's the shutdown screen.
And it says
Totally.
okay.
Well, let's see what happens. Let's see if it shuts down. That was the shutdown screen. So perhaps if you could take another. It was disconnected. So You were able to help me shut down because you told me that the shutdown screen came up, and I know enough about my computer to know that shutdown is usually what comes up. Yes, exactly. Because it was the last thing I did. So, Ashley, I want to thank you very much for helping me with my shirt, with my wife's shirt, with my mail, with my medication, and with my computer. Thank you.
Sound output privacy and button.
Right.
Glass connected.
So that's thank you, everybody. That was a sample of what we do. What I do. Now I can do feedback. So
Feedback heading submit button. How was your experience? Good.
so I'm going to double tap on good,
Selected. Good. 1 of 2.
and then
How was your
submit.
Thanks for selected glass.
So it tells me thank you very much, and so I thank you very much.
Fabulous, Rick. Thank you so much. And I know Ashley's not there anymore, but thank you. I love this because it's real. You know, it's nothing is 100%, but boy, you got a lot done. So that's fabulous. And our next presenter is our other senior instructor. Let me present to you Lynette Tatum.
Hey, folks. All right. Well, I hope I do as well as Rick does. So, here we go. I'm going to call, I have on, as I explained, I wear glasses now. And so I have a glass that is, no problem, I'm sorry. All right, pardon me, excuse me. Right. So I have a glass, like a frame over my glasses, and there's a little nose piece and so forth. And on the right side, I have the controls for the IRA. So here we go.
4 p.m.
Okay.
Selected. Searching for your glass. Glass connected.
Okay. Glass connected.
From glass.
Call IRA from glass. I'm going to double. Oh, I don't know what it's checking. It's IRA's checking, connecting to agent. Okay. I don't know. It announced that Emily is here.
Hi, Lynette.
Hi.
Thanks for calling Ira. This is Emily. How can I help you?
Well, Emily, you have a crowd. Crowd, say hello.
Hello.
Great. We are doing a demo, and I just have some items. My colleague Rick there had a shirt and so forth. When you go to conferences and such, they give you all kinds of documentation. And I'm wondering if you can help me with some. Oh, I hope I didn't lose you.
Yeah, no, I'm still here.
Okay, cool. All right, so can you see well through the glasses?
Yeah, I can see that it's a pamphlet that says Conservation for the Blind, and it says Seeing Possibilities on the front. If you hold it up a little bit more, I can actually see a little bit more of the document. I see that there's a blind woman on the top left in a black and white photo. And then there's a man who appears to be teaching. There's a colored photo on the left. And then there's a photo of a young girl riding a horse in the middle right-hand side.
Ooh, well, that was more than I thought. Okay, very good. Now I'm opening, and I'm going to take out some of the stuff that's in here. All right. Some little pamphlets and so forth, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. So because of the reflectivity of the light, I'm actually going to take a picture of this one so I can get a little bit clearer view. And the pictures will render in higher definition. So you might hear that it'll say taking photo and then uploading photo.
Yes.
And so we'll just wait for that to load.
Well, I hope you're still seeing it. It said Iris starting, glass ready for service.
Yep. So it's basically just taking a picture here.
Okay. Let's not say that.
And sometimes it takes a little bit of a minute to upload.
Okay.
And we'll do things like this, especially if someone's reading a menu or something along those lines, where we need to have more of a static image where we're reading a little bit longer just so they don't have to hold their glasses perfectly still.
Okay.
So it's a little bit of a good thing that we can do. We can also take
you can take a what?
And send it out to social media.
Can you repeat what it said you can take a boop, and off you went. We can take maybe you said a picture or something, or
Yeah, we can. So we often take pictures when we need to read tiny font or something like a menu. So instead of having someone hold the camera really still, we'll just take a picture so that we have a static reference photo.
Gotcha.
And then also if people want us to help line up their photos, we could actually take photos for them through the glasses or the back-facing phone camera.
That is
and
fun.
then have it accessible to them in their IRA profile. And then if they want, they can like post it to social media or print out photos or really anything along those lines. So they'll have a photo for their memory keepsake.
So I can use an agent to help me put up a new profile picture on my Facebook page?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, good.
Do that.
Thank you. That was a little personal, but you know. All right. So, are you able to see the one pamphlet that I have?
Yeah. Well, I do apologize in that our connection has stopped loading. So while I do see that the picture took, unfortunately, we're having a little bit of connectivity issues. So I am still able to hear you just fine, but in terms of the picture, it's still in the process of refreshing.
Okay, and what I will do is I will make sure. Let's see, 1 second. Oh, speech out. 1 second, I'm going to check this low power. What's it doing? Oh, so it shows you here. Press home to open. Okay, Emily. Okay. So should we, oh, I hate to do this, Emily. Should I try calling you back, or?
Yeah, that might be a good idea. Hang up and call back, and then hopefully this will
work itself out, right? Okay. And also, so you're not able to see through my glasses at this moment?
No, not at this moment. Again, I can still hear the audio just fine, but the video just hasn't been able to refresh yet.
Okay. So, hang on. All right.
All right. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay. Thank you. All right, Speecha. Bye, hon. Let's see if I can get...
And while Lynn's doing that, this is, obviously something that does happen with any technology. Yes. Things can go awry. There's a couple things the agent can do. As you heard, she tried to refresh the video, and usually that will work. But it's a cell-based service, and so sometimes the cell network, even with the priority that we get from AT&T, sometimes the cell network simply isn't able to deliver the video that we need. So, we go back in and we reconnect, and hopefully that takes care of it.
Okay. Sound output. Emily?
Hey, good Lynette. All right, it looks like we're back here now.
Oh, my goodness. Do you have a picture?
Yes, I do have a picture.
Okay, I'm looking at our beautiful audience, right?
Hang up and call back in, so that was perfect.
Yay! All right, I'm going to put the phone down. I'm going to pick the pamphlet up.
Yeah, absolutely.
There we go.
All right, great. And maybe if you can even hold it just a little bit closer.
Sure. Sounds like what I have to do.
All right. Do you see that it says a guide to service in the New York State Commission for the Blind?
There
and then if you
go.
hold the pamphlet up a little bit towards the sky, I'll be able to see. And it looks like it has a picture of a young girl. It's black and white, but it looks like she has light blonde hair and light-colored eyes.
Oh.
And she's smiling.
Oh, that's good.
One would hope
Excellent.
so.
Yeah. I have a CD here. Yes, folks, I did purchase a CD.
Perfect. Yep, and now I can actually see clearly. It says, when the lights go on again, original cast recording. And the front photo is 4 people, a man, and a woman in clockwise order. And they're all kind of leaning against basically this large wooden box and smiling towards the camera.
Oh, that is not the CD I thought I got. But was apropos when the lights go on again. Does it have the track list in the back here at all?
If you can tilt your chin down just slightly so that I can see the whole thing, great. And I'm actually going to take a picture of this because this font is much tinier. So if you can hold still, hopefully we'll get the video to load just fine.
Taking picture, gotcha. Upload completed,
Okay,
resume
great.
video.
So we have a much better connection this time. So I see it says, Show your love, Miss Robinson.
Wow.
Hungry Dungry Heart?
I have no clue. but thank you very much.
So again, you're a lucky fellow, Mr. Schmidt.
Okay,
and it looks
that's
like
good
there's
for
a
him.
total of about 25 different tracks.
Okay. Wow, I'll have to open this and rip it and see what it's like. Wonderful. So, and I have one last thing. I do have a video here. Yes, folks. I do have some old school stuff here. But I have a whole collection of these, and as we're trying to put them in some kind of order or at least see what we have, Lord help us, what is this one?
Yeah, so it's actually backwards. It looks like it might be like a Bug's Life from Pixar.
Oh!
And I just see in the back. So you can
How about
actually flip
that?
it over. Yep, and that is a Bug's Life, a Disney Pixar film.
Yay.
And it has an animated photo of a bee on the front who's looking over its shoulder.
Awesome. Oh, thank you. Okay, well, Paul, do I take questions or anything like that, or what would you like?
Karen,
me to do?
or Vern, what's
Karen?
our instruction?
Thank you very much, Emily. I'm very glad it worked.
My pleasure. Would you like me to hang up?
Yeah, no, you hang out for a second in case anyone has a question for you.
Well,
Thank
actually,
you. Yes.
My instructions. I occasionally try to follow instructions. Are to thank Lynette, which we all ought to thank Lynette and Emily.
You're welcome.
Because now my next instruction is that I am to reintroduce Paul, unless Paul wants to give over some of his time for a question or two for these guys. It's up to you, sir.
Happy to do that.
And before you start, Paul, Emily, I thank you. I'm going to be rude and hang up on you, hon.
Well, let's see if there's let's see if there's any questions for Emily first.
Okay, let's.
We'll take about two. Okay, let's just take like two,
Emily
and then we'll
wants you
go
to
back.
hang out. Okay.
I'm coming through for your questions.
We have three. Oh, hey, absolutely.
Well, we'll see how long each one takes.
Hi, my name is Fritz. Hi, Lynette.
Hi.
We kind of touched upon this, I think Paul did. But in the event that, you don't get the video feed or the connectivity is wacky, when you call back, are you pretty much guaranteed you get the same person or?
So far today we have. I think there's a way for them to hone in on us somehow, Paul, because whenever these kinds of things happen, I always get the same person.
Yeah, typically if you're disconnected, they try very hard for the same agent to pick back up. Of course, when you call into IRA, it is random, right? So when you start a session, you're randomly assigned, or the agent that picks up is random to you. But if you're in the midst of a session and you get disconnected for some reason, that agent tries very hard to stay off the phone until you reconnect. They also sometimes will try to reconnect with you directly to make sure that you finished what you wanted to. Sometimes they can't tell. Some people just end abruptly. And so they don't know that you actually intended to end. Well, listen. That's... it's one of the things I always say to people. I get a lot of trouble from my sighted friends when I point some of these things out. But it's great to have sighted assistants, and I love when people are helpful. I do appreciate that. But sometimes they just kind of want to hang around and keep talking to you. It's like I have things to do, man. I'm not looking to be your best friend today. I really do appreciate your help, but we're done. I'm kind of finished now.
On that basis, we have another question here, please.
My name is Ron, and I'd like to know if you put out $89 for 100 minutes, if you don't use all of the 100 minutes, does the remainder accrue to the next month, or is it on a lose it or use it basis?
We do not currently offer a rollover plan, so it's use it or lose it. I think, and the reason why we don't do rollover is we found that people were pretty much using up their minutes. So for some people who were early adopted, maybe they did have a rollover plan for a while as we've sort of figured that out. But we found that people were using up the minutes, and it just wasn't, it was too hard to manage those small pieces of minutes that people weren't using. So I think what you can do, of course, if you find that you're not using, I think a 100-minute plan, it's hard to imagine not using. up those 100 minutes. But if you sign up at a higher level plan, you say, you know, I'm just not really using that many. That's where that easy change comes into to effect. So the next month you can say, you know what, I'm going to take it down a notch from 400 minutes maybe to 200 minutes. The other thing is you can buy small increments. I believe it's 50-minute increments if you need to, if you're getting close to the end.
That I didn't know.
Yeah. You know, but I say that. I mean, I know that's true, but I'm not sure where I should look at those tabs that I don't look at very often. There's 5 tabs along the bottom of the Aira screen. There's the home, there's the MiFi, My Glass rather, which tells you about your glass connectivity status. MiFi, which is how you connect to the MiFi, your glasses. There's the usage, which may be where that is, or more, which is probably where that is, if you need to buy extra. But if for some reason you can't, if you sign up and you can't get to it, you can call in or ask an IRA agent. Actually, they'll tell you.
Do we have one other question? Excuse me, I'm going to get this gentleman on the corner here. You go, sir.
My name is Anthony Morel. I notice quite frequently the agent have to take pictures. Where do your sensitive information concern, personal information, how is that handled? And also the glasses that has to be worn, how is that effective in different weather conditions?
So the pictures, first of all, anything that happens in your session, so when Lynn just being connected to Emily, and before that Rick was connected to Ashley, as soon as they're done, all of that information goes away. The agent no longer has access to it, whatever they did in that session. So if you want to save a picture, you need to ask your agent to send it to you, or put it in your profile. You can access it from your app on the smartphone. But all the work that was done goes away when the call ends with that agent, and that's important because that means they don't have a way of accessing it if they wanted to. And as you know, they're held to a confidentiality standard. As for the glasses, we don't guarantee them in as water resistant or waterproof. They do tend to be. I mean, from experience, they're okay. People have gone through rainstorms and they've been okay. But they're sensitive electronics. You wouldn't want to leave them. You wouldn't want to stay out in water, and you'd want to try to protect them to the extent you could if you got caught in a rain or snow condition and unexpectedly.
Thank you. Are there other questions? I have a question. What?
Just because of our time, I'm so sorry.
Oh, okay.
Is there anything else you want to say before?
Just a second.
The only thing I would say, and we can talk about this here in the room, we are offering a special deal for signups for people who are here, and that will be available to you through Wednesday. And what I will do when we talk after the video is I'll give you a number you can call in order to make that actually happen. So you can do the sign up for IRA, have a free trial. We'll talk about what that means and what we're able to provide to you. But this is a special offer that we make when we do presentations like this for people who are good enough to sit through and listen to us. And we appreciate. I was about to say it's like a timeshare offer, but my IRA people, if they heard that, would probably wince and kick me for that. And see, no, I just did say it, so they're going to wince and kick me for it. But it's not quite like that. But we want to reward you. You guys are great. You're showing real interest in this product, and we love sharing it with you. And we want to get it in your hands for a little bit to see if you think it's for you.
Paul, may I hang up with Emily?
I think you can.
Yes. Okay.
Thanks, Emily.
Emily, thank you.
My pleasure. You all have a good one.
Thank you. Thank you. And I'm sorry about the questions. It's just this is a packed presentation, and there will be time after the video for you to have some hands-on experience. And so I would think that a question you had, you would be able to ask, during that time. But our colleague Lynette and our other colleague Mohammed Rihan, whom I mentioned earlier as our tech specialist and videographer, and Vern Vergara, who I mentioned, who I think is our director of the video. Yes, we're a little bit but we would like, if we're ready, to start with a video. I think Vern would like to perhaps introduce it. Is that correct?
No, actually, the video was supposed to start at 3 o'clock. It's not quite 3. So if we have any more questions.
Well, we've got about 2 minutes.
Actually, no, we have plenty. It's 10 minutes. So there's a question over there.
You have
Okay,
a question here as well?
I don't want to be late.
Okay,
Yeah.
let me get these questions first. I'm coming down here. Do you have a question? It's taken. Okay, here you go. Say your name and ask your question.
Oh, hi, my name is Valerie Buckner, and I just want to find out how much is the Glass smartphone app? The app.
I'm sorry, say the question again.
The Glass smartphone app. How much is
the
that?
App is, the IRA app is free.
Yeah, the app is free in
Yeah.
in either Google Play or in the iStore.
Yeah.
But it does require a smartphone to run. And as I mentioned earlier, whatever plan you subscribe to, you get the smart glass and the MiFi device with that.
And can I just add, there's a wonderful tab. If you're worried about your usage, there is a usage tab. And you can go and you can hear how many minutes you use with what agent, what day. It's fabulous. So that will help you keep track of your minutes independently.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm a cell phone user. I'm sort of a minimal cell phone user. I use Siri a lot. My question is, like, how well do I need to know my cell phone before I go into using your system?
Yeah, go for it. As a tech instructor, Mike, all you have to know is how to swipe to the right and to the left and then double tap with one finger.
Yep.
That's pretty much it.
And even though it's pronounced IRA, you have to say ERA. See, open ERA. That's the only way. I renamed the thing and everything, but it will not open with IRA. It says you do not have an app on your phone name. So you have to say ERA. I'm sorry, Paul.
No, that's true.
Yeah, so I noticed that when you use up the minutes because the attendant is reading, that takes a lot of time. So I'm wondering if ERA or IRA can work with Kurzweil.
So IRA has an agreement with KNFB Reader, the Kurzweil NFB Reader. It hasn't been invoked yet, but that will be something we are working on announcing in the next few months. I think we're determining now what that will actually look like, that combination. But yes, that's going to help a lot, I think, for I will say, along with me not being, I'm a lazy labeler, I'm also a lazy scanner. I hate scanning. I do not want to scan. And so if I could have a way to, I don't mind the benefits of scanning, but I want it to be done for me, basically. So if there's a way to make KNFB Reader a little more automated in that sense, that would be awesome for me. But I think my point is that that's the kind of thing that we're looking to invoke. We also have an agreement with Blind Square. We're not sure exactly what that will look like either.
Love it.
But that's another great technology out there that will be combined in some fashion with IRA.
I have a question.
Oh, okay, Rick.
As a user, I'm going to this is directed toward Paul. I'm going to the Seeing Eye for 3 weeks. It's a very structured program. I can't imagine that I'm going to need much the time and energy. I mean, I'm not going to get any mail. I'm going to have people, telling me what to do, where to go, where to be for about 3 weeks. Is there a way, if you're going to do something for 3 weeks or a month and you know it, can you suspend your service and then go back after 3 weeks or a month?
Yes, I believe you can limitedly. In other words, you can do that a few times. We don't want somebody doing that every month or every other month. But yes, absolutely, we understand that happens in people's lives. You gave a great example of where that might happen. So yes, you can suspend your payment and keep your account available, for that month.
Thank you.
And something I'll just mention as we get ready for the video here. I didn't cover. Besides trying to find other payment mechanisms for IRA, the other thing we're trying to do is to get places to cover IRA minutes. So, for example, I would love it if Penn Station were covered. because I find Penn Station to be completely unnavigable.
Oh, thank you.
Now, I'm a Union Station, Washington, D.C. guy, and I like Union Station. It's a lot simpler and easier. I can manage, although I wouldn't mind having navigation there. So what we're trying to do with IRA is to get places like that to cover the cost of minutes. So while, if you're an IRA user, instead of burning up your precious minutes, while you're visiting this great location, you're hopefully getting them. We're trying to get museums and airports and places like Penn and
starts with the Port Authority, yeah.
and other places to cover.
Thank you, Maria.
Cover IRA so that while you're there, your minutes are actually being covered. And we think, you know, this is a great win for the airports. As I mentioned earlier, airports are something people complain a lot about. And so if IRA is covered there, it means blind people hopefully are happier spending money in the airport. And that's good for the airport and good for us. Same for, you know, a large retail, a grocery store or a retail location where you're not pulling an agent off, a salesperson off of their work. Instead, you've got an IRA agent. It's somebody who is actually working with you and knows how to work with you, and it's a lot more efficient, even though you're using a video stream. And so we're moving in that direction as well. We've gotten a few agreements, and we've got a couple of reports in place, and hopefully we'll get some, you know, more rocking and rolling as we get more users and as more of you start asking for entities like that to cover.
Yeah.
Wow, I feel like I've been following IRA for a while, and that's news to me. And I just want to say to Paul, I think that kind of thing is a fabulous thing that you might want to share with advocacy groups here. I know one of them supports you guys already, and I know another one will be very interested. We also have a coalition called Pedestrians for Accessible and Safe Streets here, PASS. And we bring a lot of we try to bring the advocacy organizations and the agencies together to talk about, well, accessible pedestrian signals for one, but things that will enhance our ability to be independent and free in the city. And so I'm just saying.
Yeah.
So
that's great. And by the way, all the major blindness organizations, NFB, ACB, AFB, BVA, are all actually on IRA's advisory board and are very supportive of IRA. So we're really proud of that fact.
That's great. That's great. So are we ready to say, like Warner Wolf used to say, let's go to the videotape?
Let's go to the tape.
Let's go to the videotape. Thank you.
Is that behind my head? Oh, okay.
Don't make funny ears.
Hi, my name is Lynette Tatum, and I am a senior instructor here at the Computer Center for Visually Impaired People at Baruch College. And I'd just like to show you a few cool things you can do with the IRA system. Hi, I'm in our kitchen, and I would like to have some of this lovely microwave popcorn, and I am going to ask the IRA agent if they may or might help me figure out the instructions or read the instructions and then use the completely inaccessible microwave that is above my head here. So, Ashley, you there?
Yes, I am, Lynette.
All right. Can you see that I'm looking at the package? You may even have a picture already.
Yes, I can see the top half of the popcorn bag. If you want to hold it up a little bit higher, I can get the instructions for you.
Sure.
Perfect. So if you just want to hold steady, I'll take a quick picture.
Okay.
Taking picture. Uploading picture. So it's going to be taking in just a sec, and it's loading.
Upload completed. Resuming
Okay,
video.
so I have the instructions on my end now. So, let's see. The first instruction, place bag the side up in center of microwave oven. 2, microwave oven power varies significantly from oven to oven. Please refer to your microwave oven owner's manual for instruction on cooking popcorn. It says carefully remove bag from oven, carefully open top by pulling diagonally at corners, and gives into a warning sign that for a few kernels to pop out because they're really hot.
Okay. So yep. Now we'll do it for real.
Okay, perfect.
All right. So I put the bag into the because I didn't hear how long to pop it, and then you'll guide me with the microwave here. Can you see my hand is on the, or near
Yes, I
hovering over?
can. So I can tell that the open button is down at the bottom right corner of the right-hand panel.
Okay, got it. And it said to put it in on the tray with the instructions up, or?
Yes,
okay.
just like that.
Perfect. Oh, right, you're seeing me. This is beautiful. Okay, I'm closing it. Now,
okay.
Is there a popcorn setting on this by any chance?
There is a popcorn setting up in the top left corner, so you may feel a textural difference where there's a display, so if you keep moving your finger up. Actually, there's a popcorn, you're hovering right over it, so if you go down about an inch with your finger, just very slowly right there. You're kind of in between the bottom one and the top, so if you perfect.
Am I there? Okay. Excellent. Now
do the button.
Press it, I guess. It doesn't give any kind of, I don't hear any beep or anything. So.
Okay, we may not have hit it perfectly spot on, so if you just want to bring your finger back up to it, so we're going to go up just an inch.
Yes.
Keep going, just very slowly, keep going, and pause, and then we're going to go slightly to the right, and then down to your right.
Yes, to the right.
Yes.
Okay.
And then down just a hair, and that will be right
there?
Smack down in the middle. Yep.
Okay. Oh, Lord, here I go. Oh, I think I pressed it.
Okay.
And now
I heard a beep.
Mm-hmm.
And then...
Oh, it started.
There you go.
I have never used this, so on mine at home it says popcorn. And then you just press the start button and it goes. I didn't even have to do that. I just, as you said, press the popcorn button and then it does it.
Yep.
All right, so do we have any idea of how much time this is taking?
There was no timetable on the back of the popcorn bag.
Okay.
If you want to get me a little bit closer to the screen, I can try and take a picture of it because we're kind of looking at it at an angle and it's kind of an older display screen.
That's because I'm
just
short.
Want to hold steady for a second?
Yes.
I'll take a quick picture.
I'm short, so I can only get but so high.
I feel your pain. It's okay.
Thank you.
So I'm just waiting for that to load here.
I hear the popping.
All it's saying across the top of it is popcorn.
Oh, that's helpful. There's any, so you can, there you go. To get the end result.
Woohoo!
And now I remember that this was the thing, and it says to, now one thing. Okay. Ooh, that is hot. Which way is up?
So your left-hand side is going to be the one that you want to pull on. So you're going to grab opposing corners there and then just pull it away from each other.
Pull it away from, okay.
So there's, so there's 4 corners there, so you're going to grab the left bottom and the top right.
Oh, left bottom, top right. Oh, okay. All right, excellent. And I really will. And I will have
And then you can do that again with the other 2 corners and it'll open it all the way up.
Oh, I'm delicious. I'm sorry you can't have any.
That's okay. I'll go make my own.
All right. Have a wonderful rest of the day.
You as well, Lynette.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks for hanging in there with me.
Yep.
Okay, bye. All right. Done. I'm standing in front of a vending machine with a ton of snacks, and I have engaged my IRA agent to tell me what some of the snacks are and how to pay and all of that. So I'm ready whenever you are, Linda. And just let me know when I need to get closer or whatever you need.
Okay. I guess could I ask, is there a type of snack you want? Like Doritos, chips, I saw some cookies,
well, yeah, absolutely. Doritos are lovely and cookies are lovely. So
okay. There are Cool Ranch Doritos.
Okay.
And I see also the original Doritos on one of the rows.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to look down just a little bit, I'll make sure I'm not going to miss any.
How am I doing?
Okay. There's candy at the bottom, so that's not Doritos. Just look a little bit to the left for me, please.
Okay, sure.
Lynette.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the only 2 Doritos I see.
And what about the cookies? Are there any chocolate chip?
If you look down a little bit, one more time.
Okay.
And a tiny, I see Famous Amos, which is chocolate chip.
Excellent. That'll.
And yes, there may be some below there. Those are the tiny packages.
Okay. And do we know the price of the Famous Amos cookies?
The Famous Amos, if you get just a tiny bit closer, I can see the. Alrighty, that is $1.50.
Excellent. So, what do I do?
Okay, to the right of you, there should be a panel where we can order. Yes, if you step over and look right there. Now, if you put your hand up, and your hand is in the right position. It says to tap there, so just touch that. It does accept cards.
Okay.
Just touch the screen to start. Or bills. So are you going to use a card or money?
I have $2.
Okay, very good. It's accepting coins as well. So you just still need to touch that panel. Tap below. It says just.
That's how you do it.
Okay, below that panel, yes, there is a slot to put your dollar bills in.
Okay. And so that would be, I'm feeling, down.
Up a little ways, I'm sorry, up from there.
Okay.
I was trying to look if it had to go in a certain way.
Sure.
Move your hand up about another 6 inches maybe.
Here.
Right there.
Must be here. Okay. Terrific. Now I'm going to try to do this with the phone in my hand. Does it say, can I just put it in anyway? I'm going to try it anyway.
Yes, I did not see that it showed, like George Washington's head facing one way or the other.
Okay, very good.
They used to all have to go in one
it
direction.
took that one?
Looks like it's taking it, right?
Oh, it took it, put it back out. So
turn it around and put the other end in.
Absolutely, I'm doing that.
Okay. And there's a little fold on the left corner.
Okay.
I'm not sure, go ahead and try it. If it doesn't take it, we'll unfold that.
It took it that time?
Yes, it did.
Okay, and I'm going to try the other one.
All right, and let me see it before you start it in there. If
Sure.
You could. Look down just a little bit. Yes, that's the proper direction. Go ahead.
Okay.
And you can insert it that way.
It went in, and it didn't come back out.
Now, we have to enter the number of the snack you want.
Yes.
And I want you to just look back to the left one more minute because
Sure.
I want to make sure Famous Amos is 407.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. Back to the panel, please.
Yes.
And it's saying here, make a selection.
Okay.
So you have to touch that screen again. There are no numbers on there yet. All right. This is like a phone dial pad.
Yes.
So if you get your finger over there, we're looking up one. Whoops, down one more. Down right there is 4.
4.
That's that. Okay. And just to the right of where your finger is now is 0. Press that.
Okay.
And then up a little ways and to the left, just up now
There.
from where you are, 7. Press that.
I might have hit it wrong, but sorry. I might have been a little zealous. Did it?
All right. I heard it talking. I could not understand it, but it did serve you, correct?
Let's see. Should it come at the bottom? Oh, wait. I think it has to be over here.
Now push that panel in.
Okay. Oh, I pushed it down. I'm sorry.
Oh, you have to lift it. I'm sorry.
That's all right. And I'm going to push it down because it doesn't lift, but it does go down.
Okay. Were you able to find them?
Oh, I put my hand in. Okay. Unfortunately, it didn't do it. We might have to do it again.
Can you show me the panel one more time, please?
Sure.
And you know what? That was my mistake. It says either keep shopping or check out.
Oh.
So up near the top of the panel,
okay,
on the right,
yes,
a little bit to the left and down a little bit, and right above where your finger is. Go back up. Up with your finger and press that. That says check out.
Okay. And I heard something make a noise.
Now it is vending. And
I heard something drop.
Coins fall. For your 50 cents, I will help you find that.
I did hear the coins fall. Let's see if I can.
Right.
Got them.
And it's up a little higher. Just
Oh, I have the 50 cents.
Oh, you have it? Okay.
Yeah, I do.
And I see your cookies laying down there in the bottom of the machine.
Okay, and I'm gonna push it down, I think.
Yeah.
And then you have to hold the thing down, otherwise it flies back up. And I got them.
Boy.
I got them.
Yay.
Thank you very much. Okay, hello. It's Lynette out here, and I believe I know where I am, but I'm going to verify with the lovely IRA agent here, Rebecca. Okay, Rebecca, where am I?
Hello, it looks like you are on the northeast corner of Lexington and 25th. I see to your left a restaurant called Poke Zone. It looks like a sushi poke restaurant.
Excellent, so it doesn't have to do with Pokemon.
It doesn't look like it.
Okay, good. Well, if you would guide me to Popeyes, which I know is on this block, I'm going to turn in the direction where I at least know to get me started. And I'm putting out my cane, and I'm just going to start walking. And if you would be so kind as to, if you can, tell us what you see in front of what's on my right. Is there I know there's a building to the left. Can you tell what that building is? Are you seeing it well?
Yes, it's a large building that looks old. It looks like that is the 69th Regiment Armory, New York Army National Guard. It's got some very ornate architecture with columns and insets of the windows, and a huge archway entrance with flags on either side hanging up.
Did you say with slags or slags, or what was that word? Flags.
Oh, there's the flags on either side of the arch.
Thank you, flags, Lynette. All right. Thank you. Excellent. I'm going to move along.
And then this next building entrance is, it's got a metal roof ornate covering the window, and the bricks are painted black and they're shiny.
Oh, okay.
And it looks like this next building is Popeyes.
All right, Popeyes.
Bicycle parked very close to the front door, to the left of the front door, that you would want to be aware of when you go inside, and it's a pull door.
Thank you very much. I'm going to see if I can get
Yes, what do you think?
You
You
are
go?
passing.
Oh, I am passing.
Yes, and it's actually I think it's a push door. Yes, it's a push door.
Oh, and I think some folks are going in.
Yes, they
All right,
So,
I'm just going to go in.
all right.
Okay, well, here's Popeyes. Wonderful. Excellent. And I will go out, and they will say, what was she doing?
You're allowed to change your mind.
I sure am. Hi again. This concludes our video on the IRA system. We hope that you found the information useful. Thank you very much.
Oh, Mohammed. Thank you, Mohammed.
Thank you, Mohammed. What is that making noise there?
Man, this is a talented group. I'll tell you what.
We don't mess with, the small stuff.
No.
So I think we are, Paul, you don't have, I think we're ready, and Vern, you can tell me if I'm late or early.
Yeah.
You can let me know, but I think we might be ready to begin to open this up for some hands-on. Now, am I incorrect? Is there anything else we ought to be mentioning?
You got it. We're ready for the hands-on, and people can.
And at a certain point, probably we will be moving away from the streaming, but we want to thank any of our streamers so much for being here. Let's give them a hand.
Thank you, Video Stream.
And Paul, before we leave the streamers, although I'm sure they'll be on for a little bit, but would you say the phone number in case people do want to call? This is a U.S. number, of course, but if you want to just give us that would be great.
Well, if you want to contact IRA, the best way actually is via the web at aira.io. And what we are offering today is a sign-up opportunity for people here in New York, and I will give that number to individuals who are here. Okay. Since that part of the problem was I can't give it over the stream because I know you archived this, and that sign-up will no longer be available, and I don't want people to get mad at me. But the best way to connect with IRA is aira.io. All the information you need for signing up, for finding out more information is available right there.
And that number, of course, we will have as well if somebody needs to check with us. And so, again, thank you, streamers. And thank you so much to all of our presenters. Really, really magnificent.
Thank Lynn and Rick in particular. Thank you, guys. That was awesome.
Really magnificent. And I guess we are opening it up, and we'll do our best to take care of as many people as want to. And at a certain point, Sergeant Vergara will be calling a halt.
I was a general, not a sergeant.
General.
Well, you got demoted. You got demoted in the last couple minutes.
We actually need a sergeant then to get some discipline here. The generals never do.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, if you see the general sergeant, the corporal, she just gave me more information. If probably the most efficient way to do this, I know we can't stop you in certain ways, but if you'd like to come and do a hands-on with IRA, it probably is really respectful of everybody, especially our people at the table who don't want to get bombarded. If you raise your hand so that perhaps maybe one person can come at a time, or however the IRIans want to have that to happen. But raise your hand, okay, and one of our volunteers will help, okay? Thank you, everyone.
Your guys' preference is to not have people use.
Correct, because my glasses, they tend to come.
No, I know,
just
the
Paul.
Google Glass
Okay,
is
cool.
a little flimsy at
I have
times.
enough trouble keeping them.
I hear you. You know, if I had thought about it, I could have set you up with this other Austrias maybe for the moment.
That you were holding in your hand.
Yeah, if you want to make a
That's a
change,
speaker.
I will tell you right now.
It's just a Bluetooth speaker, but I had it.
Yeah.
This is the JBL Flip 4.
We understand that. So if you want to
JBL Flip 4. Nobody knows what JBL stands for. It's probably three people.
Yeah, just get on the list. Just be warned that
J
it'll
is
be a
in
couple
jam.
minutes. All right,
B
hey,
is
how you
in
doing?
Flip, F-L-I-P. Yes.
Yes,
It's very good. Flip 4. And it has a microphone, which is nice. Yes.
Do you want to use?
No, I don't want to use the dark one. I want to use a light one out the black.
You know, the only ones I've got actually hooked up right now easily.
Should-
You don't mind.
Should we,
I know it's
what should we do? Should we have people stand in front of me?
Yeah, in front.
Okay. Okay.
We'll work with each other.
Well, I think Paul's going to give the phone number now. He's going to wait till the live streaming is over, and then he's going to give the phone number out.
Now, do you want to use an AfterShokz headphones with this instead of having on speaker so you can talk directly, more directly to
So
the
when you talk to Paul, he'll get it to you.
Yeah, like an earbud. Yeah, let me get that set up.
There's a potential person who wants to try it out or get some information, that kind of thing. But that's Paul. That's Paul. Yeah. You can, Paul will let
Headphones going.
The video is really
What is that you're doing there?
So I'm hooking up these Aftershocks headphones.
Well, yeah, they, you know,
I gave you extra billing.
I had a bad back, and I couldn't come in extra billing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's certainly good reach.
And the only thing I asked you to do is to leave a message when you call.
And it was a great illustration
Leave
when
your
I
name and tell me Ira, say something like that, and then I'll know who it is. Yeah.
All right, I'm just going to set them up and make sure you've got connectivity, and then I'll give them over to you. Now, and then I'll explain how these work. Do you have some vision, Ed?
Yeah, I have a little bit.
I thought maybe you did. Okay.
You're so welcome. Thank you for coming. It's a life changer, game changer. It's incredible.
Hey, Brianna, I'm going to hand these headphones over to Ed. We're getting a little feedback, so I'm not sure what that is.
They want you to do
Yep.
one internet.
Okay, well, it seems like it's better at the moment. So, all right, Ed, these go behind your head, and then they go over the top of your ears. You see that little scoop spot there? That goes right in front of your, it sits right on top of your ears, and it hangs down in front of your ears on your cheekbones. You might be easier putting those underneath the glasses, actually.
Yes.
They go on your cheek?
Yep. You mind if I touch your head?
No.
Okay, thanks. Yep, you got them. Talk and see if you can hear Brianna.
Hello? Very, kind of noisy. Let's talk again. Say something again.
That's what I did. It was yes. Actually, I was referred.
You know what it is? Very noisy.
You're not able to hear very well?
Yeah. Is there a way to raise the volume on this? It's very noisy.
Try talking again. Brianna, say hi.
Yes, but it's very noisy in here. Is there a way to raise the volume?
I think I'm raising the volume as much as I can, Ed. I don't know that I can get a whole lot more out of it.
Okay. Hello, Brianna? Hello.
Yeah, okay.
This is much better, thank you.
If you want to wait for him, if you can, he'll give you all the information. I don't want to give you information that's not.
That would be great.
Did you want the phone number for signing up?
Yes.
Do you have something to write with by chance? It's 800. Sorry?
Say that again, please.
It's 800 985 9239.
I'm connected to something here.
Yeah, you're connected to my phone, Ed. You can hang on to it if you want to.
1 second. Paul, is there a code or anything?
Here, go ahead. Hang on just a second. Ed, if you want to take the phone in your hand.
Yeah, I can't see it.
I'm putting it right into your chest there. Okay. No.
Okay.
So 800-985-9239 will connect you with Marty or Kelly, our two sales agents, and one of them, if they don't answer, you can leave a message and they'll get right back. And we're saying we're making this available through Wednesday at 7 p.m. So you have to decide between now and Wednesday. And so what you get is a 30-day free trial. And after that 30 days, you decide if you are happy. We'll sign you up automatically for the 100-minute plan unless you tell us you want something more. It's $89 a month.
What is the number again? 800.
And if you're not satisfied, we'll say send this. Let us know toward the end of that 30 days. Send the stuff back, the glasses and the MiFi, and we'll say thank you.
And who are we talking to?
So that's going to be Marty or Kelly that will answer that phone.
Okay, thank you. Marty or Kelly.
And let's see. Did anyone else want the number?
Yes.
So do you have something to write with?
What is it?
Do you have something to record or write with?
Yes.
Okay, the number is 800
Yes.
985
985, yes.
9239.
9239.
9239, and that's good through Wednesday at 7. You can have a 30-day free trial if you call that number and commit, and we'll get your information.